So, Battle Boots is one of the two weapons in this game with active input, which means that the same move can do two different things depending on the direction you're holding, and I'm going to show you that now. If I do a down light, I kick them up into the air if I don't press anything after. But now if I hold down and do a down light, as you can see, I'm on the floor. It's two different moves in the same move. Now this is going to become important after, and I'm going to refer to the different active inputs as the direction you're holding, or if there's no active input, then I'm just not going to say there's active input. So that's down light, and then this is the active input version of down light, or grounded down light. It'll be pretty easy to understand. Same with side light. Side light just kicks them forward and keeps you on the ground, but if you hold forward, so if you hold the active input, it pops you up in the air. And then down air is the same thing, but it's harder to visualize, where it either pops you up in the air or keeps you going down with them. And one I actually forgot to cover was down light dare, and this is a chase dodge forward then dare, and that's how you do that. And this is a very good combo if they're low percent and you want to take them off stage. Now this takes them directly into a big danger zone, and I like using as a mix-up when I haven't used it all game and it's an important stock, because if they're not paying attention and maybe they haven't been dodging and they just think you're going to Sair them, this can instantly set them up some really big problems, especially if you land the Sair or afterwards, or you jump and you ground pound them. This can land them in, you can get an instant edge guard off this pretty much. So I recommend using this as kind of a trump card, like maybe even right at the beginning of the game if they're not paying attention, but this is a trump card. Whereas on stage it drops quite a lot. It does good damage, but it's difficult to find a follow-up with end light, and you can follow up with side light, but it's not a true combo and it is jumpable. But overall, if you're going to be able to hit them off the stage with it, very good. Later percents wouldn't recommend using it because Sair would kill better, and Sair can land as some other things that you can see here. Right, this is the fundamental combos section of the video, and these are combos which you will use or should use every single game and are essential to the weapon. And let's go through these. So first you have D-Light side air. Now this is a very easy to do combo with no jump involved. And then there's the active input version 2. This does solid damage, doing 22 without active input and 19 with active input, but the active input puts you in a better position to follow it up. One of the most important combos on this weapon, the one I use the most. D-Light recovery. Again, a very good kill confirm, doing 22 damage, and all you have to do is drift this forward slightly and recovery. Both these combos work at all percents. I can put the bot up probably to 700%, and it still works, and they go absolutely flying. So these are the two combos that you're going to want to use, and let me tell you when. So when you're on the same half of the stage that you're facing, this is very important. So if I'm here and I'm doing this, I'm facing the wrong way for my downlight, but when I'm on the same side of the stage I'm facing, you're going to want to use D-Light Sair to hit them off the side. But if I'm facing this direction, the opposite way of the stage, I don't want to be using D-Light Sair because, as you can see, it doesn't kill. I want to be using D-Light Recovery because D-Light Recovery will kill. If you're facing the edge of the stage, D-Light Sair is the best one to use because you gain stage control on your opponent even if it doesn't kill. A way more disadvantageous spot is being here as the Lucian, versus if I hit them up in the air and it doesn't kill, then all they have to do is try and land. So remember, whichever side, it's very important which way you're facing. So if I land my D-Light and I'm facing the same side of the stage I'm on, and I'm hitting them this direction, I'm hitting them towards the edge pretty much, then I want to be using Sair, and I want to be using recovery if I'm looking the other way, and that is for kill confirms. If you think they're in kill percent, if they're lower than kill percent, around like 90, I don't recommend using recovery as it's quite hard to follow up with some meaningful combos and quite easy to get out of. Sair is a very good option if you want to get stage control, maybe land a sig, but I would use active input Sair to stay close to them and go for the edge guard, or I like Nair. See, Nair, when you're finished with it, puts you in a very good position against your enemy, as you'll see here. This is exactly where you want to be. You're on the ground, and after landing this, you're on the ground, they're just above you, and then you can do some very cheesy things from here. So for example, red raptor can grab cancel end sig. Red raptor can maybe wait for a landing with his down sig, or even go for a recovery straight away. If they have no dodge, this recovery is unjumpable, so that's very good, doing even more damage. After D-Light Nair, you can go for a Sair, but overall this is a very, very, very good combo, and I like Nair a lot. And here are some even more combos. Because of your active input, which you have to remember to use, I recommend mixing this up a lot. You have the possibility to end light after your down light, like that, and that does very good damage, doing 17, and at certain percentages gives you very good opportunities to follow up. Wouldn't recommend using this in middle percentages like you're seeing now, where there's not really much follow up and it's inconsistent. But at lower percentages, at lower percentages it can really lead into some good combos and strings, as it puts them just directly in front of you. Give me a second. As it puts them directly in front of you. This gives you the ability to sidelight them for 2 frames, and if they have no dodge, that's not jumpable. Or it gives you the ability to downlight them, although that is jumpable, like that. And overall is a very, very good combo. I'd recommend using this if you've been downlight Sairing over and over and over again. They might get used to it. The position might hit you with a wake up, and this is a very good mix up. You also have downlight sidelight, which is very, very good. Downlight sidelight, although downlight sidelight uses a lot of the stage, so no matter where you are, you kind of get to the edge of the stage. So this could be good for wanting to go into something like a down air if you use the active input, or it could be good for looking to go into something like the end light if you're not using the active input, like you see here. One more time. But overall, unless you're on a longer stage, not the best combo, because it doesn't put you in the best position to follow up, although it does do good damage. So I recommend D-Light Sair pretty much all the time, and D-Light Nair and D-Light Sair are the ones I like because I like being above, but I like mixing up into the end light is very important, because you could land a very big combo on them if they're not expecting it and they dodge the wrong way. Okay, now onto moves and when to use them and what they do. So we have Sidelight, which is your just ground coverage tool, which covers a good distance and moves you. This is very good for approaching if someone's being floaty, or if you don't know where someone's going to land. It has a very wide hitbox. You have Downlight, which is your combo starter, both in the air and the on the ground version are very good for starting combos, and we're going to go into that later. And this move's again very good for approaching, and is normally the beginning of your kill confirm, and also the way you start big damage combos. Downlight is one of Battle Boot's best moves. Then we have Neutral Light, which is exactly like Gauntlet's Neutral Light and many Neutral Lights in this game, where it's just a standing still, quick hit in front of you. This has force and can kill, has a very good launch angle, which is diagonally down or kind of slightly down. This does good damage and can also be a string starter, but a very good grinder move. You have your Nair, your neutral air, which is Battle Boot's, in my opinion, best move versus other weapons. And it's a very, very nice sweep above your head. This is very quick. It can chain into itself, and you can juggle people very, very well with this move. Side air, which is a 2-part kick, which has a dead hitbox in the middle. As you can see, there's an in-between. And this has active input too, where you kick them away. This is force. This is going to be one of your biggest kill confirms and kill moves. And then it has the holding variation, where you take them with you, which is a very good edge guarding tool and can start some really nice 0 to death and long combos. These are all very good moves. Down air, which is kind of like unarmed and Qatar down air. And there's 2 variants to this. Variant 1, where you bounce off their head and it has force that hits them down, and 2, which has a little bit of force but you go down with them. And this, again, a very amazing edge guarding tool. As you can guess, if you've played the weapon at all, Battle Boots is very, very solid off stage, and actually one of the best weapons off stage in general, and it has a good kit. Then you have Ground Pound, which is a alright move, a kick down. This has very, very high force and is steerable, kind of like Gauntlets if you play that at all, where you can steer it forwards but you can't steer it backwards. And then you have recovery. Recovery is a very slow move, very slow recovery, where you but you get some good horizontal and vertical distance, and it kills and does pretty good damage, and can also string into other things. So overall recovery is a very, very solid move, just like most of Battle Boots kit. And then that is it for Battle Boots moves. It is a very good weapon with the active input making it very complex and having some of the most combo variety in the whole. Now we're going to get into some strings and reads that you can do when your opponent doesn't have a dodge, and some true combos that are situational. For example, you can land this with one dodge frame very consistently, and this is something that if you watch my Battle Boots gameplay, which is going to be coming up on my channel a lot more, you're going to see me go for this a lot because it's very low risk, and that one dodge frame is often very hard to do. All you have to do with this is use the active input version of Sare, where you push forward and then instantly end line. Very, very good, very easy, and it's hard to get true all the time, but it can be true at certain points. You can also go for, if you're right on the edge of the screen, this one is a very, very situational combo. Let's swap this back. This is a very situational combo. You can land down like Sare as a true combo at certain percents, but again, this is very difficult, and even I'm not sure exactly when it is, and I don't recommend going for this all the time, but if you'll probably start to get a knack or a feel to it. You kind of have to delay the Sare a little bit so you're close to the ground. You can see I got it with one dodge frame there. And yeah, this is the same with end light. So when you're a bit of a higher percentage and end light's not going to land, if you delay the Sare a bit, you can land this, which is a very high damaging combo, doing around 38 damage. So that's very situational, but a very, very good combo. So many of Battle Boots reads are off stage, and you'll be doing the reads when you've hit them off like this, and we'll be covering those just after a few of the on stage ones, which honestly aren't too big or complex and generally lead to the same thing. So if I ever, with Battle Boots, you move around so much that even if you're center stage and you hit someone with a downlight Sare, even well here they don't need to dodge, but if you hit them with a downlight Sare and then near them, you're almost off stage anyway. So we're going to cover that in a second, but we'll be going through some of the on stage ones. After landing an end light and someone dodging in, you can move forward slightly depending on the percent and get into downlight Sare end light. And normally if you do it quick enough, you can they don't get their dodge back before the you can land the end light, but sometimes they do. So that's the highest damage for that one. And it's the same for away dodge, but we're gonna have to move the bot slightly further to the left if we're going to show you that because of the force. But I'll show you for the away dodge. If you land end light on someone, you just chase them and do the same thing. But for this example, because you don't have a ground to end light them, I'd recommend going nair to side air, which is unjumpable. So we'll show you end light and they dodge away, and then you could just do those two. But what you can do, which also catches them, is nair to side air, which will do more damage. And you can do this with either variation depending on the percent of if you want to kick them far away or not. So I'll show you one time. Nair to side air, and that's very good, and that's one of the highest damages you can get. And we'll go through for side light now. For side light, it's the exact same thing. You nair and side air for the highest damage possible. For both variants, he touched the floor there, that's why he got his dodge back, but that won't always happen. That's only if you hold forward. That is the simple one, and this is the highest damage one. And normally you can catch them just before they touch their dodge, but it depends how quick you are with the read, because if they touch the floor, then they get their dodge back for the side air. Oh, give it one more go. It's a difficult timing at certain percents. Nope. But yeah, and that works at pretty much all percentages because it doesn't, side light doesn't really have force. So you can land some good kills with that. If you ever side light someone, you can get some nice early damage. Off side light away dodge on all the characters pretty much out so far. You can also just use your side sig. Remember, like, I'm not going to be able to put sigs in this guy because Battle Boot's not a character, but certain characters have really strong sigs, and you can kind of figure that out yourself. Obviously, every character sig's different. Tezca sig with a hit there, whereas Red Raptors doesn't. But pretty much it's all the same for the away dodges. When you're on, if you land a Ser on stage, yeah, it's the same thing. You go into down light Nair Ser or down light Ser. There you go. If you land down air, it's a bit different. I recommend after landing a down air, instantly going into side light, unless you keep doing it, because side light itself catches no dodge, catches jump and away dodge, which makes it a very strong option. And then after you land the side light, probably down light, you go into a down light Nair, or you can go back into a down light Dare if you want. All depends on what you want to do after that, and what percent they're on as well. If you land the down light, side light, and their kill percent, you obviously want to send them away. Right, now we'll do it for the up dodge / jump reads, which are really, again, all the same thing. If you land a side light and someone up dodges, you just recovery them, or you can try and Nair recovery them. If you do the side light in the air, you can Nair recovery them because you're already in the air. But it becomes a bit harder if you're on the floor. But there you go, Nair recovery, very strong. Good damage off that, and quite safe to throw as well. You could go for another Nair, but that's just a string. And then exact same thing, if you side light, if you grounded side air on stage, which you'll land a lot, Nair recovery. And for the one where you pop yourself into the air, you can actually just gravity cancel N light, which is quite a safe option, or you can gravity cancel down light, which requires some timing because the way the hitboxes work. Here we go. We'll give it one more go. There we go. And then you can go into down light Ser, but I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend just going into Nair recovery because it's easier, more consistent, or going into the on light, and then you can go into something else after that. But again, it's all the same. It's all quite intuitive with Battle Boots. If they dodge up, you just kind of use your only up moves. It's not like Scythe where you have diagonals. So if you're off stage, this is now the really important ones. If you're off stage after side light Ser, which is very common, if they jump, you jump with them and do another side air, or use your signature. Like if I'm depending on your character, but obviously if I'm Red Raptor, N-Sig is unbelievable and will kill very early. But I'll show you. If they jump, you just do it. You just jump with them, and then after that jump, you can go for a gravity cancel down light into another Ser, which is true and kills. Like I'll show you now. Jump Ser, and then gravity cancel down light Ser. Make sure not to kill yourself. Another option for if they up dodge is jumping up and recovering them. This is very safe because it puts you quite far away from them if you miss the read. Obviously we know the bot's going up, but if the bot wasn't going up right here, this puts me in a very safe up high position versus the enemy. And then this is, yeah, that's if they dodge up, which is good. If they dodge in from your side light Ser, you can instantly jump and go reverse a side light Ser if you delay your jump a little bit, and then take them back onto the stage with whatever combo you want. As you can see, there's a lot of potential, but personally what I like to do on Red Raptor is down sig, because that sends them back out. On Thea, what you can do is you can reverse your down sig so it sends them in the right direction, and then you can do some follow-up off that, like a Ser, which is very strong. Jump Ser. But again, you have many options when you land this, but this is just what I personally like because you can get some very early kills and some good damage. And then on Tezca, which we'll get up now. On Tezca, again, many options. With him, it's a little bit different because the way sigs work, but you can side sig at certain percents if they're higher percent. But at a lower percent, you can. I think you can end sig. Reverse N-Sig, I think. go. Yeah, you can reverse enter. Again, there are many options here. If you don't want to use a signature, you can jump recovery, but that does require quite good timing at low percents, to the point where even I'm missing it a little. There you go. Or you can GCN light, which is the easiest one. It doesn't really catch anything, and at certain percents it doesn't work, and you have to reverse it. See, because he's so low percent. But if we were to increase the percent by 40 or 20, and now he dodges in, that catches him. But then at a low percent, you're gonna have to reverse the end light. All this is why I use signatures, because it becomes quite confusing when you're trying to figure it out. Obviously, in a game, you can't look at their exact percentage. Off stage, if anyone is crazy enough to dodge down against you, you jump ground pound them. Oh. You jump ground pound them, and then normally they can just die. Or you can delay. I'm throwing easy combos here. Or you can just delay a down air, but that's not confirmed, and actually becomes surprisingly hard. At low percents, down's actually not an awful direction to dodge against boots, but if you get caught dodging down, you pretty much die against battle boots, because if you dodge down here at low percents, you kind of get a free gimp, and look, like most players there will panic and use their options, and you can get a free kill on them, or just kill yourself like that. So this is an important thing with battle boots that I wanted to point out, is battle boots has so many combo variations because of the active input and the way the weapon, you can string almost any move into another one, that finding the best or the optimal combo is very, very cool, that's good. But a lot of the time, mixing up on your opponent is one of the best ways to succeed. As you know, people are human, and if you get in the same patterns, doing the same combos, they're going to start to understand. And even from something like a downlight, you have so many variations. You can go up, you can go straight down into a like jumping off them and staying high. You can go down with them into a side air. You can go into another D-lights air. There's so many combos that finding what works with what is very, and going into training and making the bot jump, the bot not jump, and mixing up and doing as many different ones as possible is very important, because when you're playing against a real person, them not being able to get comfortable knowing what combo you're going to do is very important. Because if you keep doing D-lights air over and over and over again, and you keep trying to make a certain read, they're going to start acclimatizing to it and knowing the best dodge. But then if suddenly you downlight dare them, now they're in an uncomfortable position and they don't know what to do. Or you could downlight dare them all game, and then right at the end of downlight daring them, they've got so used to maybe going under you or going for the same read, you take it the other way and you downlight air them, or you downlight recovery them, and they're in a situation that they don't know. And if you practice all of these, then that's good. So just getting in training and knowing the combos, because it's very easy. After any move, you can pretty much do anything with grav cancels, or with turning around halfway through the combo. There's so many possibilities on this weapon, and this is what makes probably me and you guys, if you do play this weapon, love it. And yeah, again, that's just very important. So getting in training and using basically the basic combos that I showed you, and combining together to create your kind of own playstyle. Because I know a lot of Battle Boots players who love going straight down with this. I personally don't like doing that all the time. I like the side air, I like the staying in the air, but I know people who swear by going down and then maybe going back up, or they swear by going down and then looking for ground pounds. But personally, I like going off the side this way rather than going down. I just feel more comfortable there. But then once a game, or I will mix up and I will do this, and then they won't know what dodge they should do. Should they jump? Should they not? And they'll make a mistake, which is you're there to capitalize on. Okay, now is a kind of different segment. It's going to be a tips that you won't have heard like at all before, probably, or you won't have really heard. And the reason we've got platforms on is one of these tips is dash jumping off of a platform and throwing your downlight can cover a very, very long distance, and you can catch people off guard a lot. If someone's trying to land and they're going here, even if where I just fell, you can catch them with your downlight. So that is a tip that you won't have really heard before, dashing off, and then because your dash has momentum and your downlight follows momentum, you can go almost across like half of the map. This is the same with on the floor, but on the floor it's obviously expected they're going to be spacing you right. Whereas if you're on a platform, they might just think, you know, they're in the air and you only have access to like these moves right here, but you get on the platform and you can really throw it far. Same with even out here. Sidelight also goes far, but it's slower, so that's why I say to use downlight. And then you can instantly downlight it and downlight combo them into something, which is very, very cool. Another one is you have a lot of freedom to when you stare, you have a lot of drift freedom. So what I like doing a lot of the time is when I throw this downlight nair, I like drifting back and reversing the stare, and this catches a lot of different random things, in dodge, in down dodge, and in up dodge. But I just throw it straight away, and that's if I don't have many options or I didn't touch the ground. So yeah, I've jumped and I've jumped, and then I've gone here. Throwing that is just very, very safe, and you can catch a lot of people. And in general, just drifting, you can drift with the Sarah a lot, like you can move side to side with it a lot. Tip number 3 is you can obviously only steer the ground pound one way. And as you can see me getting caught sometimes here when trying to ground pound people off stage. And this is, but when reversing the ground pound, you can, because you can steer it backwards, you can really cover the whole edge. Even on a map like this, you cover the whole edge. And remember, very important is with battle boots, you don't want to ever hold your ground pound until you're at them, because if you let go of it, you can hit them earlier. So if you hold it, it has to hit this tiny little hitbox. I'll show you. It has to hit this tiny little hitbox. Wait, let me hold it. There you go. Whereas if you let go of it early when they're in the range, you have all of that room. So always let go of the ground pound before your character does. See all that range that you're missing out on if you hold it down. And yeah, that is a tip, is reversing the ground pound is very good, especially because you can, if you have momentum going this way, I'll show you. If you have momentum going this way but you're reverse, you see how I'm still going backwards using my momentum. So you kind of get the option to steer it two ways, and because you're backwards you can also steer it the exact other way. Oh, I'll show you this. There you go, I can steer it all the way back the other way. Now that doesn't seem important, but being able to steer it both ways is something they've intentionally not done. Whereas if you jump off this way, you can't, and I try and steer it backwards, you can't. Not at all. So that just gives you more freedom. Another thing of battle boots, another good tip of battle boots is when you're grav cancel D-light again is a very, very good move and can catch people out because it's so quick. And yeah, she jumps, but then she can't punish it because it's such a quick move. A lot of this is to do with D-light. Because it's such a quick move, even if I throw it and it doesn't land, if I throw it and it doesn't land, it's very, 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 very difficult to punish. And if they don't jump, like I'm not going to do here, you can catch them with a double D-light set, which is, again, very good. And then obviously there's the SIG tips, but we're not going to go through them today. When I do character guides for each of the battle boots characters, I will definitely be doing SIG guides, because there's a lot of stuff you can do with the active input and SIGs, which means you catch a lot of dodges and get a lot of early kills. This is a very, very niche tip, but it's with downlight. If you don't want to use too many options, or you don't have too many options available to you, you know, you've maybe used a few jumps and then you've landed off stage. If you still want to go for the edge guard and not maybe kill yourself by going all the way down here, like I just did there, the people don't often use off stage the non-active input version of down air, which has force and is very, very good. I'm not using any jumps here, and you can see I'm using her as a pogo stick, and I still have both my jumps, my recovery, and my dodge to get back to stage. So this is a very good tip if you don't want to overcommit, and using them as you don't have to down air over and over again. Obviously, it's an extreme example, but you can use it as a kind of extra jump, just in case you need to make it back to stage. So that's a very good tip for not just instantly killing yourself. is using this, and it has good force as well, so you'd be surprised at how long. As you can see, you can hover off stage, and I have jumps to get back to half the stage length. Another really good tip that people won't realize is Nair hits grounded, and this might not seem important, but it means you can grounded Nair and have a very ridiculous level of coverage above your head, where you beat out a lot of attacks, and good coverage on the ground. So if you're ever in a panic situation or you don't know what they're going to do, Nair is sometimes the option, as it hits in front and behind you and grounded. So Nair, again why I think it's one of the best moves, and you can really mash this move out with Nairs and recoveries. You can juggle people for a very long time, and obviously D-Light going into that, yeah, you can. Nair is a very good move. You can actually beat out a lot of ground pounds with Nair. If someone's ground pounding you and you Nair them at the right time, you can just cancel their ground pound. And you have to test this out. It requires timing and not against every weapon. Obviously, I don't think you're going to be beating like a very long ground pound with it, but ground pounds like bow, spear, probably blasters if you time it perfectly enough. Swords you may be able to beat, but unlikely. But yeah, there's a lot of things. Nair also makes you float upwards when you land it, so even if you land it below someone, let me show you. If you land Nair when you're below someone, it raises you up, so you're still able to hit them a little bit. So yeah, very good move. So a very long video and a lot of speaking in this video, but that's the way I like to do, guys. I try and give every single thing that I know about the weapon. I definitely have missed some stuff, and that's where you guys come in. Genuinely, if you know something that I missed, or you know a combo, especially the SIGs, because I can't cover SIG combos in this video, or SIG strings, it's going to be a very good opportunity for you guys who know the weapon well, or know something that I missed, to put in the comments. With some of my other guides, I've made a guide and someone in the comments has come out with an amazing combo, and it's been better than a lot of what I covered, and I'll just pin it. If you have this, there's a really good combo, I'll pin it to this video. And you know, so if this video has a few views, had some views and some comments, go check, because you might have been something huge that I missed. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I know it's a very long video. The fact you made it all the way here, thank you very much. Please give me a sub and a like. It would mean a lot, and it supports the channel a lot. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching, and peace out.